7:30 p.m. on a Friday, Boston, Massachusetts.
Guys, I got some news, some terrible news. We got a huge problem.
I feel like we could do a podcast, and it would be a million times better than whatever that drivel was we were listening to.
What the hell is a podcast?
What is that?
The future of radio, you jabronis.
Heyo, and welcome to the Always Sunny cast. I'm your co-host Eric.
And I'm co-host Ross.
And this is a podcast where we go through the TV show It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, episode by episode, scene by scene. We break it all down. We talk about references. We look things up. We sparks conversation within us, and we just sort of break it down for fun. For fun.
Our general amusement.
And no one else's. Ross, it's our season finale.
Yeah, we made it to the end of the season. Can you believe that, Eric? It's been pretty tight. We've been recording. Listeners don't know this, but we've been recording week to week.
Like truly, this comes out in a couple of days, 2 days, 3. What is it? 4 days. This comes out.
Yeah. Luckily, we have nothing going on in our lives.
But we made it to the last episode, which is awesome and fun because I quit 3 or 4 times. And we still made it.
Yeah. You stuck with it?
Yeah. And today, what a great episode to go out on. It actually feels like a season finale.
It does. There's a big, everyone coming together at the end. It feels, there's, no stone left unturned, Not that there's, much to unpack, but...
Our style, very anticlimactically, we don't have anything special. We don't even have a guest that you kept kind of mentioning we might have.
Yeah, I thought we could get Billy back, but timing that out is kind of difficult, especially now because he lives in Hungary, which means his time zone is way off from ours.
He might as well be in Narnia.
A place I can't point on a map, basically.
Yeah, he's kind of he's hard to pin down. So yeah, so it's just us today, but that's all right. We're gonna do it.
But we do have a special treat, don't we, Eric?
Yeah, I teased this out. Well, I mentioned it, and I thanked Alex H on the Christmas episode.
Mm-hmm. And
he sent us a cameo from Lil Kev for just to say it was so awesome when people do stuff like that. It's just so cool. And thank you again, Alex H. But I'm gonna play it right now because he talks about this episode. So I figured I'd wait to actually play the audio of it. It's about 2 minutes long, and here it is now.
Hey guys. So I wanted to tell you, a little behind the scenes stuff for your podcast. Thought it might be cool. So the one thing I think I remember from doing that, we shot it in this old abandoned rundown doctor's office, and it was super moldy and gross smelling. I remember that. And the cool thing I remember about the whole thing was, Caitlin was actually pregnant at the time with her and Rob's first kid, and I just remember how cool it was sitting there actually watching Rob and the scene where they're looking at all the fathers and we're all in awe, oh shit, is this going to be our kid? And just looking at Rob and stuff, and he was generally in awe and almost had tears in his eyes because just watching Caitlin come out with the baby in her arms and stuff like that, knowing that they're going to be giving birth soon and have a fucking awesome kid. So that was really cool to watch that and just hear Rob talk about that stuff. And I think behind the scenes, I've told this story before on some of my live streams I do, but the very first time I ever met Danny DeVito on the episode I did where Sweet Dee's dating a retarded person, I met him. They were like, hey, Kyle, this is Danny. And he was shooting another episode at the time, but he was literally just wearing tighty-whitey underwears and one of those thin robes. And he was just like, hey, how you doing, pal? And that was my first experience into Always Sunny, and it was fantastic. Anyway, I love you guys. Everybody go check out the Always Sunny podcast. It's fantastical. And you know what? It's straight up bananas. You know what I'm saying? So go check that shit out because you're going to be more mixed up than a milkshake. I love you guys. Peace. I'll holler at you later. But you know what? Maybe I'll see you real soon. Your beautiful dreams. We can all chill out on the couch, snap some popcorn in our mouth, find some juice boxes, and instead of the cartoons, we're going to listen to Always Sunny podcast. Peace!
And yeah, so the gist of it is basically his time on the set and, you know, hanging out in the old hospital.
Yeah. We do get some like behind the scenes of like hanging with Danny DeVito, what that's like.
Right. Which is very
kind of
cool.
an experience, right?
Yeah.
And
he also says Always Sunny podcast a few times, which is at the time didn't exist. Well, at the time it didn't exist at the time. You know, and no fault of his own. I mean, our name is ridiculous. I would have said that too.
Right, exactly. It looks like an error when you tell people the Always Sunny cast. You mean the Always Sunny podcast? No, that's a different thing. They came out after, if you could imagine.
I know. And the only reason we're called Cast, I think I might have explained this before, but is because we are modeled off of the Signcast podcast.
Exactly.
That was sort of our inspiration.
Exactly. That's kind of like a nod to them. And we're sort of doing a little bit of what they did for Seinfeld, but for Always Sunny.
Yeah, like there's the Movies by Minute podcast, and like one movie by minute, and then it spawned all these other movie by minute podcasts. Do you know what I mean? It's sort of like a style, and I felt like the way the Signcast style was very, very much appealed to me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like very much like how it was structured, like the style of it. It wasn't just like a random discussion.
Right, it's a logical breakdown.
Right. Yes, it's like a step by step.
You can follow. It's not skipping around.
It's almost like it's like watching the episode again in a weird way. It's like you can like go along with it, remembering the episode. So yeah. So that's why we don't have podcast in our name, but no fault to Lil Kev. I mean.
No. Right. We would have made the same mistake.
Yeah. And so yeah, that was really fun and cool and
very awesome of Alex. Again, thank you.
I got 2 cameos now. I got the Lil Kev and I have Todd Glass from you.
Yeah, that's right. For your birthday last year, right?
Yeah. So yeah, I like that. I like cameo. It's cool. All right, we talked enough. Today
I think so.
Today we're talking Season 6, Episode 12, Dee Gives Birth. Original air date is December 9th, 2010. Written by Becky Mann, Audra Seelaff, and David Hornsby. Directed by Matt Shockman. And Ross, what's that IMDb summary?
Before Dee's baby arrives, the gang tries to figure out who the father is by throwing a house party for all her former flings.
I mean, yeah, that's kind of basically it.
Yeah, I mean, that is what happens.
Yeah, you know, this episode is very funny, but like not a lot happens.
No, we just get like a lot of like guest stars, and it's, I don't know, for that climactic moment at the end.
Yeah, it's just like a fun ending to the cap of the season. It's cool. And this episode came out in 2010. So what was going on in the world in 2010?
In 2010, Caitlin Olsen and Rob McElhenney had their first child, a boy named Axel Lee. Caitlin Olsen went into labor during a baseball game, believe it or not. It was the LA Dodgers versus the Phillies, and the game was on August 31st. And according to Caitlin's statement, she says, "I went into labor at the Phillies-Dodgers game on Tuesday night. As soon as Ryan Howard, the big piece, hit a 3-run home run, we felt comfortable leaving to go have our baby. We love him like crazy, even though he made us miss the second half of the game." So that's
cool.
a little fun little tidbit.
Yeah, that is
I
cool.
think we all knew this, but like the story of the baseball game is kind of like, I didn't know that.
Right, no, me either. Yeah, very cool. I think that's about it. Let's Ross, get off that rolly chair and let's get into this. Because, I'm not going to podcast with someone that chooses to fly through windows.
All right, let's do this.
All right, 9:30 a.m. on a Friday in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The gang are arguing about Frank and Charlie walking around the sewers naked and looking for rings and coins when Dee's water breaks. So they come in here with a big pile of mail they've found.
Right.
Yeah, they found their mail.
Yeah, Charlie's shocked to find that it's their mail, and they're like, well, what is the mail doing in the sewer?
And now apparently Dee's been chucking it in the sewer because they don't read
Those
it
turkeys
anyways.
never open it.
Those turkeys never open it. So, and I get that. I have mail that piles up.
And you do throw it in the sewer.
Yeah, I do.
That's what you do with it.
Yeah. So yeah, they get this. They found it all, and she was doing that because she was afraid if it was in the trash that they would find it and yell at her. That's her reasoning.
She couldn't throw it directly in the dumpster.
She's like it's like little kid logic or something.
Right? Yeah, she didn't want to get in trouble, so she did this other wrong thing.
A much worse thing. Yeah. But this brings on a more important conversation, I would say, of why was Frank and Charlie in the sewer to begin with?
Well, there's stuff down there.
This stuff
You can find all kinds of shit down there.
You know what? Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I bet you're right. I bet you could find tons of rings and coins.
Yeah, you gotta
It's
feel around,
all the only things that can fit down there.
you gotta feel around your feet. It's like clamming.
Oh, that's so gross. Such a disgusting sensory.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. There's like a quick little scene here of Dee looking down when her water breaks, her reacting to it.
Mac wonders, how are they so clean?
Yeah, he wonders how they're so clean. And it is apparently because they take their clothes off before. And you know what? I don't know. Kind of smart.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea. It's not like anyone's really going to see you except each other.
Yeah, I mean, how do you get into the sewer?
You could probably pull one of those grates up, I think.
A manhole cover?
Yeah.
I don't know. Don't you need some sort of tool?
I mean, I've seen a construction worker do it one day. You got to put a tire iron looking thing, crooked crowbar thing.
Yeah.
And he looked like his back was gonna snap in half when he was doing it. But
the Ninja Turtles made it look so easy.
Oh, they just pop that shit right up.
They would pop out of it doing flips and shit. Yeah, so they take their clothes off, and we see it's much later down the line, but we get them in the sewers with Dee, Charlie, and he's talking about taking his clothes off because the rush of water coming.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, Thundergun.
Yeah, so we're gonna see this in effect, but much later on. Yeah, Dee's going, guys, but they're not interested in Dee per usual.
Yeah.
They're still talking about what could be down there. There could be anything, rings, coins, nudity. It's all part of it. It's all part of the fun, he says.
Okay, but you guys.
Yeah. And Dennis is Dee, we're trying to figure this out. We're trying to figure something out here. You know what I mean?
We're trying to find out why these two are rooting around in the sewer, but Dee's water just broke.
Yeah, Dee's my water just broke. I'm having a baby. And what shocks them into reality, or?
I'd say so. I mean, in the next, scene after the credits, we hear Dennis was going 110. So they were banging on all cylinders.
I almost would want Charlie or someone to go, "You're pregnant?" Before the thing, you know what I mean, or something.
I don't know. They had a whole episode about how she got it.
But or you're still pregnant or something like that.
Still pregnant would be funny.
Yeah. Yeah, then we get the title card. Dee Gives Birth, one of the rare title cards that is what happens. What does actually happen.
Yeah, right down the middle.
So after the opening credits, how do you pronounce the name of this hospital?
The Hanneman Hospital.
Okay, so at the Hanneman Hospital, the gang drops off Dee and are discussing how the kid will ruin everything. So they decide they have to find the dad. This baby's running out of water. Everyone out of Dee's way, the baby is running out of water. I don't know if that's what's happening, but it is funny to say.
That is a funny way to say that. And Mac compliments Dennis on his amazing driving. Hit 120. And then
Dennis,
Frank almost stewed his drawers.
A phrase I have never heard.
I've never heard that either.
And Dennis starts complaining about his transmission. Now, unless it's a stick, unless he drives stick, unless he's a manual,
right?
Why would he worry about his transmission? What was his transmission matter?
I don't know. Maybe just driving too fast. I have no idea what a transmission really does.
I think it
change gears. Right?
Yeah, it's the ones that kind of changes gears and stuff. I don't know if just driving fast is going to hurt your transmission. I think the switching the gears stuff is what hurts your transmission.
Well, I don't know if you've ever ridden in a Eddie Bauer edition Range Rover, but
I haven't. It could be manual. I don't know. You know what I mean? I have no idea. Maybe
Yeah,
it
could be.
is. I don't know. I
but
don't.
even so, that's up to him to switch the gears, right?
Yeah, but I guess he's saying like she made me drive so fast, so I was like kind of
So
hard
reckless.
on it. Yeah, I was like pushing
Yeah.
it hard on it. I don't know. I'm not a car guy. We're gonna ask Tony.
Yeah, Tony.
So, I don't know. I'm not
Does
a car-
driving 120 ruin your transmission, or
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, so he got there pretty fast. Dee gets in her wheelchair. There's a wheelchair waiting there for her. She gets in there. That's her ride. Is Michael credited?
Yeah, he's orderly. This guy is played by Stacey Hall, and he was born 1977 from Madison, Mississippi. He was in Raising the Bar, Sons of Anarchy, Shameless. Stacey's one of those actors that gets a lot of the same roles. I'd like to read a little bit of the variety he
Okay.
has.
Okay.
Officer Gray, Security Guard Harris, Juvenile Officer Number 2, Police Officer, Security Officer, Security Officer, Officer Ford, Deputy Number 1, Officer Wright, Officer Bristol, Officer Bob, Officer Powell, Guard, Sergeant, Guard Number 1, Orderly, Guard, Jail Guard, Sheriff, Security Guard, Guard, FBI Dock Worker, Security Guard, Guard, Outside Guard, and Policeman Number 1 and Uni Number 1.
FBI dock worker. They have a dock over there, or
Someone's going to be working the dock over at the FBI.
FBI dock worker. All right. I mean, oh well, yeah. I mean,
I always think that's funny when you're a mold. You're just like that
Yeah.
guy.
Hey, he's getting paid.
Yeah, definitely pays the bills.
Yeah, maybe because he's a big dude.
Yeah, I think it's his frame.
He's a security guard. He's like a, what I mean, he's supposed to be like his frame. Well, he's pushing the wheelchair here. Dee gets in it, and so I guess the gang is done. They're done now. They can go.
Hold on a second. Where's the guy? Shouldn't we call the guy? Get the guy down here. The guy who.
Because she says there's no guy, and Dennis goes, yeah, the guy who, and he puts his two fingers up,
like up.
like up, yeah. You know, the guy that he like doesn't want to say it out loud.
Sure,
He's
yeah.
like, it's so crude, and yeah. So, but no, there's no guy. It's complicated. She says it's complicated. There's no guy.
Frank insists there's got to be a guy. We'll go get the guy. We'll get the dad.
But she even says like, why don't you do what you do best and don't care?
Yeah, she's
What she's counting on.
Yeah, she's counting on them like disappearing and not caring
Yeah.
and giving up.
So she takes off with Michael here, and they're like, "Well, okay, there's no guy. Let's go back to the bar. I mean,
Yeah, they're off
let's
the
go
hook. Let's go get
they're off the hook.
blitzed.
Yeah, I could get blitzed." But Dennis has a different take on the situation.
Yeah. Stop, guy. You know, this isn't right. There's something not right here. Very suspicious. There's no guy. You know what this
Yeah.
means, right? There's no dad in the picture. That means the brunt of the responsibility of this kid is going to fall on us. We're going to have to do everything.
What do you think of Dennis's take on this?
It's so selfish, and like he assumed responsibility immediately.
Yeah, because he says like he says like Dee's the most irresponsible person. Oh, Max says that, I believe.
Yeah, on the
Dee being
planet.
He's the most irresponsible person on the planet. So yeah, they're sort of like, so the idea now is that they're gonna by default be the father figures.
Mm-hmm. If there is no other father figure, right?
I guess that is Dennis's idea.
Mhm.
I suppose is that, but he doesn't obviously want that. They start already projecting what this kid is gonna ruin.
Right.
He ruined a transmission, a perfectly good sewer conversation.
Still want to get a bottom of that one. And God knows what he's going to ruin in the future.
Yeah, they're like, so they're, I would say, pretty negative on this.
Yeah, he is going to ruin everything.
This is pretty extreme. I mean, it's
Yeah.
extreme.
Everything?
Everything. So they gotta find the dad. That's what they gotta do. They gotta find the dad.
Let's find the dad. Let's find the dad.
I bet the dad doesn't even know.
You know what? I bet she's embarrassed.
She's about because she's betted some real stinkers.
What a great line. Betted some real stinkers.
It's his daughter.
Yeah. You know, he's not wrong, though.
Well, they're going to try to figure it out. Whatever sperm went up there and ate the egg, they're just going to figure out.
No, the sperm doesn't eat the egg.
That's not what happens. If sperm is going to eat the egg, become a strong. What'd you say? A strong boy. Or whatever. I love how he goes. Really? It doesn't do that. It doesn't go up there and eat it. He's like,
they kind of dismiss that, and
yeah, they kind of just dismiss that and move on. Like, why dwell on Charlie, right? So they're gonna go round up the usual suspects, but one person has to stay with Dee.
Yeah, it looks like it's gonna be you.
It's sort of just Frank because Frank is on the side with Dennis, and Frank twists and turns and like steps over.
Yeah, he kind of like weasels he like worms his way out of the situation.
Yeah. So Dennis is gonna have to stay behind simply because he's not on the same side as them.
Just because you guys made it to one side?
They say yeah.
You didn't make it on the side on time.
Plus they're backing out, so
I can back out.
That is one of my favorite lines. It made me laugh every single time. I can back out. Like, no, he's gonna stay with Dee, and they're gonna go off and round up the usual suspects. So then, in Dee's hospital room, Dennis finds Dee straining herself and takes it upon himself to get her stories. So yeah, Dee's on a rolly chair, hitting a TV.
Yeah, standing on a rolling chair, very unstable looking. And she's banging a TV that's like hanging on like some sort of TV stand, but like it's wobbly and shaky. It's an old TV too.
That's how TVs are in hospital rooms too. They're on these rack things that hang from this like angle and in the corner like that.
Yeah, I think in my elementary school they were like that too.
Yeah. And so this is what Dennis finds her. He starts yelling at her.
Yeah, what are you doing? Get down.
You can go flying through that window. All of a sudden, Dennis cares about Dee's welfare.
Well, because he's, again, assuming responsibility to the baby. Like, he has to see this through.
Dee had a very specific birthing plan, but it was mostly watching her stories to relax. Do you remember when people call like soap operas their stories? Do you remember that, like that term?
Yeah. No one I knew personally said that, but like I've heard of it.
It was our parents would say stuff like that. It was like a generation above us.
Right. It was more like it was referring to like the daytime story, like the daytime soap operas, right?
Those I remember like do they even have? They don't have daytime soap operas still. They probably do. They must.
They have to. Yeah, I think they definitely are.
I love when Dennis gets frustrated here, and like the way he like the choice of words he has is so funny,
and the way he says them.
Yeah, like you stand on rolly chairs and choose to go flying through the window. Like he uses the term "choose to go flying."
She's already done it.
As if she's already done it. As if like that was
the goal
intention.
in the first place.
Yeah. Who chooses to go flying through windows? Like the way he does that is incredible. And so yeah, he takes responsibility on getting her stories. He takes this upon himself. And this baby is such an irritating thing to me. What an irritating thing this baby has become. Like so rude and just like
God, this baby has become such an irritating thing to me.
What is the crazy thing to say?
It's for me it's the line of the episode.
Yeah, it's up there.
Irritating thing to me. He's so disgusted.
He's only interested in himself fully. Like,
true. Yeah, until he can like say he has no responsibility with this baby and finds a dad and solidifies his lack of involvement in this, he's like totally worried about what responsibilities coming his way.
Yeah, and every little thing is too much.
It's adding up. He's definitely over his boiling point.
Yeah. So yeah, he takes off to find her stories, and Dee goes back to the TV.
I'll figure you out, you son of a bitch.
So then at Dennis and Mac's apartment, we find Mac, Frank, and Charlie are throwing a party and have invited potential dads. Mac, Charlie, and Frank are staring at Pondy and Ben the Soldier, Bill Ponderosa and Ben the Soldier and they're like got their hands folded.
Yeah, they're doing the Kubrick look, as we talked about before. They look menacing and like they're gonna hurt them or something. And Pondy's like, "Is this a party or what's going on?"
You know, it's interesting because Pondy, I don't know, it seems like he is aware of things. You know what I mean? Like, he's aware that, like does he know Ben the Soldier? Like, shouldn't he be like, what the fuck is going on? You know what I mean? He kind of is a little bit, but
yeah, he's definitely like, what's going on here? So he is a little bit aware.
Like, but Ben, you get Ben just not being like, just looking for something to drink because the chips are too salty.
Yeah, they're playing him up as very simple-minded.
Yeah, and just like he's sort of happy-go-lucky, like
very much.
He
so.
he doesn't complain. You know what I mean? He's just
he's
sort of like
happy
goes
to
with
be.
the flow. Yeah, he's just hanging out. And the music is playing. It's Informer by Snow. Are you familiar with Informer by Snow?
I did do. I knew the song from when I was a kid, and I did a little research.
Yeah. What do you got?
So in
interesting?
Yeah, I did. I did find something interesting. So he was at the time this song was released and out in the public and was like topping charts and stuff. He was in prison for the first like 7 months or 8 months. And when he got out, like he was like, "Oh, it's like a hit." Like I'm sure someone was telling him. Obviously, like he had to have known when he was in prison the song was blowing up. But I think it's funny that he spent like his first. I don't know. It's just a weird place to be when you're at the top, you know.
Now imagine you're another inmate, and there's a guy in your cell or whatever who has a song called Informer. Would you beat the shit out of that guy?
Well, it's about an informer.
It's about the informer?
Yeah.
Wait, what is the song? What is the song about?
I guess it's about sexual. An informer that like ratted him out.
Well, what is Licky Boom Boom Down?
Exactly what it sounds like.
Because that is the lyrics to that song. Licky Boom Boom Down.
Licky Boom Boom Down.
That doesn't sound like a good. That doesn't sound like a bad. Like that sounds good to me. Like I wouldn't mind a Licky Boom Boom Down.
Yeah, it sounds like a great time.
Yeah, so it's sort of like I didn't know that. So the song is about the informer. Okay, that makes a little more sense. I was like gonna be like, you know, you got an inmate with you who's an informer. That's not good.
Yeah,
he's a rat. But all right, nice info on Snow. Of course, I remember that song.
And his debut album, by the way, is called 12 Inches of Snow.
I did know that. Yeah, 12 Inches of Snow. Yeah, very. I don't know. Is that clever? Kinda.
Is it clever?
Is it? I don't know anymore.
I don't know.
So yeah, Pondy is like they don't call him Pondy yet, but I'm gonna start calling him Pondy.
Yeah, we're calling him Pondy. Played by Lance Barber, by the way. Just want to.
Great to have him back.
Yeah, and Ben the Soldier is played by Travis Schultz.
Right. It's almost like I've seen this episode so many times that the surprise is gone, but I wonder what it's like to be like, oh shit, that's right, him. Oh, and him, and him, and him when they all come back. You know what I mean?
And they all kind of like start popping in. Like, I mean, by the end of the scene, we're going to have Cricket popping in, and it's like, what's going on? All right, let's get into it.
Yeah, so where is everybody? He's asking, is this supposed to be a party? Ben's looking for a drink because the chips are too salty. There's something really
dries out his mouth, you know.
Dries out his mouth. Like,
Frank's gonna poke around in the fridge, but they have a little sidebar here.
Yeah, they got a sidebar. Mac he forgot to get the beer. Mac didn't get any beer.
Well, you know, he was so wrapped up in the invitations that...
Don't you wish we could have seen that? You know how they are with the invitations.
Well, especially Mac when he has to, like, do something like this.
Like the pageantry.
Yes. He goes too far.
So, yeah, no beers. Then the doorbell rings, and in comes Cricket.
Hey!
Party. You know, Cricket is criminally underused in this episode.
I agree. Yeah, we just get like a little bit of each of the guests, and we don't get like enough of them exploring, but we do get a lot from Pondy, but all the guests are exactly how you remember them. Are they not?
Well, yeah. I guess Bill Ponderosa though is a little more. Don't they push his character a little more because he wasn't like doing drugs and stuff?
Right. I mean, he was a little bit scandalous, but now we know
he was
to the full extent.
Yeah, what like a sleazebag he is.
Right.
But yeah, you're right. It's sort of like and they never really change, do they? I mean,
no. I mean, all of our characters should be static, right?
Yeah, they're curious though. Cricket? Well, who invited Cricket?
I did. He's a wild card.
He's a wild card. That's the first mention of a wild card.
Wild card.
But yeah, wild card. Cricket. That's a stone that could probably be left unturned. I agree.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta cast a wide net.
He says that later on about
to catch the fish he was banging. You notice he comes in with a black trash bag and dumps it on the couch?
Yeah.
Of like loose stuff.
Yeah. He goes, we should mention that. That's right. Yeah. We should also mention like Charlie. This episode is very iconic. Charlie with that jacket, that red. It's like a black jacket with a red stripes.
Oh yeah,
it's
got
like a tiger or something on it.
It's like that tracksuit jacket.
Yeah.
Looking thing.
That's a very iconic Charlie look.
But back to Cricket real quick. Like he doesn't have that like sore voice much anymore. Remember the last time they were doing the podcast thing?
We're gonna try to.
Yeah, we're trying to remember that. And I did, and it doesn't sound like his voice is sore anymore. So he's kind of got over that, but he does have the scar.
They're like, you know what? Let's just pick someone. We're gonna go interview them, and so yeah, they're like, hey, Bill, can we talk to you for a second? They kind of go off with Bill Ponderosa, and Cricket. Let's get weird. He's drinking a creamer.
Yeah, he took a creamer out of the fridge, helped himself, and he's doing this like zigzag dance that I really like.
Let's get weird. I love when Cricket's like having a good time. Like
the idea of like Ben the Soldier being in the same room with Rickety Cricket.
Yeah, it's fun.
Seeing Ben the Soldier with anybody is kind of
That's
funny.
True. Yeah. So then in Dennis's bedroom, Mac, Frank, and Charlie interview Bill Ponderosa.
Thanks for coming to the party,
Hey,
Bill.
thanks for having me, guys. It's good to get away from the wife and kids for a little bit. Let the hair down.
So you're still with your wife after all that shit with Dee?
Yeah, well, I realized I was a sex addict. I went to therapy. She forgave me for it.
Oh, you're a sex addict, huh? That's crazy to be one of those.
Yeah, you don't mind if I write some of this down, do you?
For what?
Just keep it a log of the party. We like to do that.
Yeah, funny conversation pops up, you want to remember it.
No problem. Speaking of parties, you guys want to do a little,
Is that Coke?
Yeah, I picked up a couple grams on the way over. Come on.
Yeah, maybe a little bit later we can all partake. But for now, we're just a bunch of guys hanging out in a room,
right on.
dudes. Let's talk about dude stuff.
I like dude stuff. Yeah, like what?
I don't know. Let's think about what do guys talk about? Condoms.
Right.
I cannot stand the feel of a condom.
Oh my God, I hate condoms. Hate them.
Yeah. I mean, the three of us just don't use them.
No.
How about you?
No, me neither. No, I can't stand them.
Well, that's interesting. A sex addict who doesn't like condoms.
That's why I had a vasectomy, guys.
You had a vasectomy?
Yep.
You just winked when you said that. Did you have a vasectomy or not?
No. Well, that's what I would tell the lady, so I didn't have to wear a condom.
Oh! Man, that is incredibly shady.
What a beautiful, underhanded thing.
Yeah, very underhanded.
You guys want to do a bump or what?
I'll have a bump.
I love this character development of Bill Ponderosa.
Oh, it blows him
You
up.
know what I mean? Like he puts him on the bench. Like he's on the bench.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
And they can go to him for stuff now. It's like
they have a specific
great.
reason now, I think. Oh, real quick, whose bedroom are we in?
Well, we're in Dennis's bedroom.
I would say so
I
too.
I checked. Yeah, I know. I checked. Yeah, it's Dennis's room. And do you notice there's cars like all around the room, like little model cars. And Dennis is kind of into cars. The Countach,
Yeah.
the Christmas episode.
I was gonna
and,
say
like,
that would be a good tie-in for that.
Yeah, he's kind of like a car. He's like in the cars. So yeah, there's like little like model cars all over his room and stuff. But yeah, I believe they're in Dennis's. Remember when
we have
he's
like a
with,
modern, sleek desk. We get some CDs, like a CD player, an ensuite bathroom.
If you remember Maureen Ponderosa when she's in the bed and he's like doing that like bookcase is like kind of behind Dennis.
Oh, okay. Good call.
That like nice.
Good call.
Yeah. So Bill's there. He's just happy to get away from the wife and the kids. he's still with his wife after all that shit with Dee.
Yeah, well, he realized he was a sex addict, and he went to therapy, and she forgave him.
Now, at this point, Mac pulls out a notebook, like a pocket notebook, and he starts taking notes. Now,
you don't mind if I write this down, do you? For what?
For what? For what?
Imagine being at a party.
That's what I mean. It's crazy.
Everybody pulls you into a separate room.
You sit down on the bed, and they sit across from you.
Yeah, all of them. Take out a notepad and start talking to you about condoms.
They're just going to keep a log of the party. This is what their excuse is. If anybody says anything funny or anything like that.
Yeah, you want to write it down.
Yeah. And they're just guys hanging out, dudes. They're going to talk about dude stuff. Before you even get to the dude stuff, sorry, yeah, Pondy pulls out. This is where Pondy pulls out the first time he pulls out the coke.
Speaking of parties, you guys want to do a little?
And you see Frank is like, he's eyeing it. And he's like making faces.
Yeah,
he is. Yeah, he's definitely into it. Yeah, they're like, is that coke? And yeah, he picked up a couple grams. But maybe they'll do it later. They'll all partake later on.
That's such a polite way to say we're all going to do cocaine later.
So they're just dudes hanging out. And what do dudes talk about? Condoms.
Dude stuff. Like condoms. Right?
Yeah. And Bill's even like, yeah. He's kind of like, yeah, dudes do talk about that.
What a great agreement.
Yeah. He's not like, what? He's like, yeah. They don't use them, and
can't stand the feel of them.
Yeah, and neither can Bill. Neither does Bill. Bill doesn't use them either.
But that's why he got a vasectomy.
Well, before he mentions the vasectomy, right before he mentions vasectomy, now you're at a party, right?
Yeah.
And you say that to somebody, and he goes, interesting, and he starts writing something down.
A sex addict who doesn't like condoms.
Yeah, and Charlie's pointing at the note, like, write that down, write that down. Like, wouldn't you be like,
what are you doing?
What are you doing? Yeah. Interesting. I'd be like, what? Interesting. Then that's why he had a vasectomy.
You just winked when you said that.
Well, he says, I had a vasectomy, and then Mac double checks. He goes, you had a vasectomy? And he goes, yup, and winks.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he said it twice, and then he goes, wait, you just winked when you said that. Did you have one? And he's still shaking his head, yeah. Don't you kind of like love that? Like, he's shaking his head, yeah, for like a good beat, like one.
Yeah, like he's still playing this like bad joke. Is it a joke? What is this?
Is it a joke? I don't know what it is. But I don't know if that's like an actor decision or director, but I love that like he plays it like nodding his head yes for like a few more beats before just being like, no. It's
a good
weird
choice
to me. Yeah, it's a good choice. It's just funny to me. Like, he's almost like he's debating, do I keep lying?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like how far can I take this joke before I just got to tell him?
Well, that's what he tells the ladies, so he doesn't have to wear condoms. That's incredibly
That's incredibly
shady. That's like such an Always Sunny term, isn't it? Shady, incredibly shady, like just that term. What a beautiful underhanded
thing.
Frank. Anyone want to do a bump?
Oh, a bump.
Yeah, right away. I'll have one. Yeah, right away. So back at the hospital, Dennis is in a fit of rage, and Dee comes back from Subway. So we open up on here with Dennis yelling at a nurse. Do we have anything on this nurse?
Yes, Nurse Wendy is played by Cleo King. She was born 1962 from St. Louis, Missouri. She was in Magnolia, Murphy Brown, Deadwood, Pineapple Express, A Series of Unfortunate Events, Mike and Molly, and Boston Public.
Well, if she doesn't get Dennis's sister hit her stories, he's going to come down on her like the hammer of Thor.
The thunder of my vengeance will echo through these corridors like the gust of 1,000 winds. The way he rolls into that, like the beginning to end, like it goes very high and then low. Like it's
right. It's very his vengeance.
Yeah, he really drives into it.
It's great writing. I mean, it's great. It's like the way the words though. It's like it's incredible. Great use of words.
Yeah, you're propelled to say it that way.
The gust of 1,000 winds. That would be strong.
Yeah, I can't withstand the gust of 5.
Yeah, totally. She's, this is probably one of the more famous moments of this episode, don't you think?
Oh yeah,
this is like
this
an often quoted blow up. This is like this is sort of a model for his later blow ups.
Oh yeah, when he's trying to sell the car for sure.
Oh yeah, right, yeah.
It's almost like a second beat of that.
Yeah, he almost turned like his language becomes like poetic.
Yeah, very much so.
The nurse though, she's not into this. She doesn't have time for this.
She's not going to jail over you.
She just walks away.
Yeah.
Great response to him.
Yeah, just to leave the scene before you murder Dennis.
Doesn't even interact. Doesn't even respond.
Yeah, doesn't
really.
even,
Just gets up and walks. She's talking
up
to herself. Yeah.
And then Dee comes strolling over in her gown, having just gone to Subway. She's got a huge drink.
Never said out loud, but
yeah,
it is some clear product placement.
Mm-hmm.
I love that they just never say it though, but she's holding a giant ass Subway.
Yeah, they
soda.
didn't say she went there, but it's heavily implied she left the building. She's tired of waiting around.
Yeah, well, she got hungry and bored. And
what's the word on the stories?
Yeah, what's the word on the stories? But Dennis is mad at her again for leaving and how irresponsible she is. So he's gonna bring her back to her room. So when Dennis and Dee return to her room, they find a strange man. You got anything on this strange man?
Yeah, Mr. Craig is played by Ben Cronin. His last acting credit was Always Sunny, by the way.
Really?
Yeah. He was in Scrubs, Malcolm in the Middle, Doogie Howser, The Wonder Years. He was one of his first roles was in 1982, right? And he played elderly man. So how old is this guy?
That's great.
I couldn't find any personal biographical information about this guy. I thought it was funny. He in the 80s he's playing an elderly man.
If we're going by 80s standards, though, John Travolta when he was 32 was a high school student. Mm-hmm. So somebody in their 50s is probably someone in their 80s. You know what I mean?
So, yeah, I guess you're right.
Just by their standards of how they used to do things. Yeah, and so apparently, somebody probably slid him in here because Dee was thinking Dee's never going to use the room. So they must have slid this guy in here. But Dee's curious. She thinks maybe he's dead.
Dennis, is he dead?
Dennis is no. He's just sleeping or whatever. Dennis is trying to stop her, and Dee wants to scream in his face.
Do not scream in this man's face. I'll jiggle his ankle, and that'll determine if he's alive or not.
Oh, that's cold.
He's very cold.
He's very cold. And when Dee starts screaming, "Hey you, wake up!" screaming in his face, and she's going, "He's dead, he's dead." And Dennis starts going, "Yeah." He's not even trying to deny it anymore. He's going, "Yeah." This was not part of her birth plan.
Yeah, get the nurse, get him out of here.
Well, Dennis sort of burnt his bridges with that nurse, I would say.
Yeah, he was getting the nurse is not going to do anything. That woman is stubborn as shit.
Yeah, he's tried. The nurse is a dead end. And then she starts, she's freaking out about this, but fine. He's got all this responsibility now, but it's fine. It's cool. He'll just think of something awesome.
One of the best deliveries of the episode.
Yeah, the way he says it, almost like it's just occurring to him.
He's so mad too. By the way,
yeah,
he's filled with rage. He's he's like, all right.
Yeah, I'll think of something
awesome.
The term "awesome," like I'll think of something awesome to take care of this. It's very. I don't know. It's something
vague.
funny about that
It's
terminology.
vague.
Yeah. Like, what do you mean? Like, why can't you just
he
do a
couldn't think of,
normal
like,
thing?
What would be the solution? So he just said something awesome.
So back in Dennis's room, Charlie and Mac interview Ben the soldier.
Listen, so things got pretty hot and heavy with you and Dee back in the day, correct? That was over a year ago?
Yeah, she wasn't very nice to me.
So what are we looking at? No contact with Dee after you dated, or what's the deal here, bud?
Well, no, she contacted me for a while, usually when she was drunk.
Drunken late night booty calls?
No, she usually just yells at me, calls me names, like Army Jerk, Camo Turkey. I know she's just drunk, so it's okay.
Not okay.
Not okay at all. You gotta stand up for yourself, man.
So you haven't slept with her then?
Sometimes she tricks me.
She tricks you? She tricks you how?
To give her sex. She's a very manipulative person. Well, I'm sorry. Are you guys mad at me?
No, man, we're not mad. No. I mean, get a grip.
Yeah. But, there's a room full of dudes out there, so you might want to stop crying and come back out to the party.
Pull it together because you're a soldier and should be tougher. Let's go.
Thanks, guys.
Dude, this is the guy who's defending our country?
Russ, these two interview scenes are so funny.
They're great.
I mean,
Any private time with one of these guests is gold.
yeah, to learn more about them,
Yeah.
explore their character.
Even Rex later is like kind of funny.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, that is so. Yeah, definitely. But Dee and Ben, they broke up about a year ago, a little over a year ago, and she wasn't very nice to him.
So no contact after you dated Dee. What's the deal here, bud?
Well, not really. He'll still get some drunk calls from Dee, which is
late night drunken booty calls.
Now, are they booty calls? He says no at first, but later on we find out that she tricks him.
Yeah, they kind of
So are they
right?
I think they are. I think that's her her strategy is berating them. I mean,
yeah, she just calls them names like Army Jerk and Camo Turkey. But it's okay. She's drunk.
I love Charlie's, like, he takes that in and goes, "This is not okay."
Yeah.
Like, you gotta stand up for yourself. Like,
Charlie's right.
Like, Charlie has emotional intelligence.
He does. It's way superior than anyone else in the gang.
Yeah. So they're curious, like, has he slept with her? And it turns out he has.
Well,
because
she tricks him.
They're like, they lean in, they like stop, they lean in, like, tricks you how? You know what I mean? They're like, what do you mean tricks?
Give her sex.
And he starts crying, and their reaction is so funny. Mac and Charlie are so funny here. And
are you mad at me?
No, they're not mad, but get a grip. Get a grip. There's a room full of dudes.
There's a room full of dudes out there, so you might want to stop crying.
And I love Charlie's, "You're a soldier, so should be tougher." Like the way he delivers that line to, "You're a soldier, so should be tougher." No Frank here, huh?
I know. Why did he skip out? I guess he's just more into the party, right?
I guess that sets up like how
the rest of
Duncan
the gang
could
shows
be
up.
getting Duncan setting up and all that stuff. Yeah, and he's probably inviting more people. I guess he's casting that net.
He's good at networking, right?
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he's got everything. He's got a pig guy. He's got two
everybody.
pig guys. Yeah,
two pig guys.
So yeah, they start taking off, and this is the guy defending our country. So Mac and Charlie join Frank in the party proper, and they find Frank has invited his bridge friends and some more potential dads. The keggers arrive, and we also Duncan, because we can see Duncan in the background. So Duncan and the keg have arrived.
Yeah. Duncan has like a whole like booth set up, like a DJ booth. He's got some lights to play his Hawaiian trip hop, or
That's you gotta assume that's what it's gonna be.
David Guerrero coming back as Duncan to reprise his role. Chad Coleman coming back as Z. And in a minute, we're going to have Lil Kev, who is played by Kyle Davis. We got that cameo from.
While Duncan's setting up here, he's informing Frank that he's going to make this power lid explode. But, that's just what's going to happen. I mean,
Duncan.
And it's really not.
Go with it, baby.
Go with it. It's not my apartment, so go with it. It's Mac and Dennis's apartment.
Yeah,
so
sure.
Yeah, blow anything you want up. Yeah.
It's pretty reckless.
This is where Z comes in with like a crate of records.
Yeah.
Gonna set it off, bitch. He says that directly to Frank. Like Frank. He calls us like Frank. Like and Frank explains that, the bridge crew is there because it's an illusion of a party. It's supposed to pretending it's a party, so, and also Frank is high.
What are you high on?
Whatever Duncan gave him.
You don't even know what you're high on?
This is like a Frank we haven't seen in a while. This is like when Frank was doing all the drugs and
the intervention Frank.
The intervention Frank, it feels like. And then Lil Kev comes up to get a beer from the keg.
Yeah. Oh, yo, Charlie Chuckles, what's cracking, sunshine? Yeah.
Sunshine. This really blows them away. Like, what is Lil Kev doing here? You know what I mean? This is where he says he cast in a big net.
Mm-hmm.
Kev was probably, what are we saying, 4 or 5 years ago?
Yeah, it's been a while. It's not possible, I guess, at this point.
And this is like one of the best
walk-ons
callbacks possible. Yes, crazy. Like the Korean busboy comes in, and she banged him. That's what Frank said.
Yeah.
Well,
she banged him.
Now this is from the Gang Solves the North Korea situation.
Yes, Grizzle Busman is played by Maxie Centillion Jr.
What a callback!
I know. I mean, it's kind of forgettable, right? You can kind of overlook it.
It's like a throwaway joke.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, it was a throwaway joke in that episode. I mean, to call him back, and the Frank even knows that.
Yeah. Well, she banged him.
And they're all doing. The way he says it. Yeah.
The way he's like so nonchalant about it. What? Yeah, she banged him.
And you can see them all doing some coke with Pondy.
Mm-hmm. Before we exit that scene, I just want to mention that, through Mac's door, because we get this angle of the guys, you can see a picture of Jesus Christ hanging on the wall.
I missed that. that.
It's like behind the bed.
That's awesome. I think we do see that later on when we go to Mac's room. There's some stuff like that.
But I thought it was I gotta mention that.
That's funny. I missed it. So then in the hallways of the hospital, Dee and Dennis do a weekend at Bernie's thing with the strange man. They get these sunglasses. They come walking out thing with, they get the guy in a wheelchair, and they come walking out, and they get these sunglasses on them.
Yeah, the round-lensed sunglasses.
And this sparks the debate of about Weekend at Bernie's and just how the sunglasses lighten the mood.
Yeah, it made it fun. It made it seem like a fun romp.
Yeah, because without the sunglasses, Weekend at Bernie's would be a strange tale.
It would have been very dark.
Are you familiar with Weekend at Bernie's?
Yeah. I think we talked about it last episode at the end, but yeah, I liked it when I was a kid. I saw it maybe 10 years ago. I still thought it was funny. It had moments, definitely.
For those that don't know, maybe anyone under 30 years old probably doesn't know this, but Weekend at Bernie's was an old movie that was about these guys who went to this beach house, and the person who owned the beach house had died. So to stay there and party there, they pretend that he's still alive through a series of contraptions and setups. And
yeah, it's more like they're dragging this dead guy around. They've tied him to their limbs, and they're moving him around, and they kind of lose track of him, and he gets pulled around, and
it's crazy. I mean, it's crazy,
over the top, but it's
Weekend
funny.
at Bernie's. Yeah. So and just like Weekend at Bernie's, the sunglasses. I mean, the sunglasses are what makes it
the mood.
Yeah. And Michael comes walking by, says hello, and Dennis waves at him. And when Dennis waves, also Mr. Craig waves because he's like tied to him. And while they do this, like Dennis and Dee's face,
They're like, oh, we're doing it.
they couldn't, they
get
couldn't
so
wait to try
excited
it.
about it.
Yeah, they were so happy to try it, and it worked.
It was awesome.
Yeah, the waving. I gotta say, the waving thing is awesome.
It's pretty sweet.
So what's the deal? So they want to get rid of this guy, and what would you do?
I would put him in a different room, or just leave him in the hallway or something.
Yeah, that's Dennis's idea. But then Dee's saying no, they'll put him back in the room. So Dee wants to like do the trash.
You're just gonna throw someone in
Yeah.
trash? That's crazy.
I know that's what Frank wants, but
Yeah.
that's not what this guy wants.
Or a laundry chute.
Or a
she
laundry chute. A
suggests.
laundry chute's maybe better if this is what you're doing, but
I don't know. It could be like a really far drop down the chute.
so yeah, they're debating what to do with him because Dee doesn't want to touch him, so she's thinking trash. And this is where the guy, please don't put me in the trash.
Whoa. Before we get there, Dennis wants to put him in a drawer or jam him in a closet. Which, like, he could get
A closet I could see, but a drawer. What drawer? You know what I mean? Like, what drawer?
He's not like a puppet. Like, I've never seen a drawer big enough you could stuff a person in.
Well, this is where he expresses his own desire to not be thrown in the trash. And they jump back. Whoa, he's alive.
Yeah, they were shocked to find this out.
And the nurse comes up here. What are they doing, Mr. Craig?
They're trying to put me in the trash.
I love when Dee starts freaking out, and Dee says she refuses to share a room with an old man who
likes to
pretend that he's dead.
What are you talking about? He was probably like sleeping or sick, just needed some rest.
Yeah, Dee's like putting like a motive behind it.
Yeah, like it's
Like-
his. Like he started it. Like
Exactly. This is his fault somehow.
yeah, Dennis calls him a liar.
And this is where Dee goes into labor.
Yeah.
It's starting to happen.
Oh God, I think I'm gonna have this baby. This doesn't
This
feel.
sucks.
This sucks. This sucks. A bag of dicks.
And I love Dennis being like, yeah, I'm sure. Like, yeah.
I'm sure. Oh man.
But Dennis is not allowed in with her. The nurse kicks Dennis out. She walks away mumbling to herself again, talking about
Like she's gonna beat him up and shit.
beat the shit out of him. Dennis is like unaffected by her like
Disgust for
getting
him.
mad at him.
Yeah.
He's just unaffected by it.
Yeah, he's not bothered by it.
That's no nothing. It's just
It's kind of alarming.
it's really starting to sink in. He's gonna be a dad.
Yeah, this is really cool.
Please don't throw me in the trash.
Will you stop saying that? Will you stop?
He says that before the guy even like finishes the sentence.
That's the best part. He's like, no one's putting you. Stop saying that. Will you stop?
They do that a lot when they get aggravated. They tell people to stop saying things that they are saying. At the party, Mac and Charlie realize they don't need to find the dad, and they can do it themselves. There's a song playing here. Is it Boys to Men? I couldn't figure it out.
Well, I googled the lyrics, and it was.
I did too, and I couldn't find it.
Oh, My Prerogative by Michael Jackson.
Oh, really? Isn't My Prerogative by Bobby Brown?
Well, that's the thing. I found it credited as both. I don't know who did it, or they did it together, or one did it before the other. I don't know.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Huh. Nice. I thought it was Boys to Men for some reason. I don't know why.
It's called Everybody's Talking All About... Oh, no, it's called My Prerogative. I don't know. Fucking idiot. The lyrics I googled was Everybody's Talking All This Stuff About Me.
Yeah, I did too, but I could. You know what I did though? I googled that, and I also wrote "Boys to Men" in the Google search.
Well, that'll stop everything from happening.
Yeah, I'm an idiot. Z is talking to Ben here about his jean shorts, and this is maybe one of the funniest conversations to exist ever anywhere. There's a lot to this I don't understand.
What do you mean?
Why is he talking in the mannerism he's talking?
Because he's drunk. I think he's drunk, just cornering somebody and talking to them.
Oh,
I think it's one of those things. I've been that guy. You've been that guy. We've all been that guy. Just like talking to someone about something because
like the way his cadence when he grabs Ben by his shoulder goes, "You gotta take him off sometimes." He's kind of like yell, like it's like his cadence is so crazy to me.
Yeah, I think it's I'm drunk and I'm just connecting.
So Z used to have a pair of jean shorts like that. He slept in them shits.
Yeah, blew the crotch out or something.
Slept in them shits. I slept in them shits. Yeah, he blew the crotch out because you got to take them off every once in a while.
Yeah, that was some nice denim though.
Yeah,
misses them.
I would love like if they were friends. Like going forward, those two are always together.
You would like find Ben down under the bridge,
or maybe Z would more go to where Ben is.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like when Ben shows up or something.
Transition because we don't want to see Ben become a under the bridge person because it would almost be like a rickety cricket move.
Yeah, no, more like Ben could be friends with anyone.
Yeah.
Mac and Charlie are talking to Rex. Mm-hmm. What a great little appearance from Rex here. Yeah. Who would have thought he would come back?
TJ Hopin.
He's been having sex with her, and she calls him a cardio jerk and a workout turkey.
He sort of just gives in. He just gives in. Wow, all right, I gotta try that with someone.
Dee is slamming ass all over town.
She's getting way more action than us.
Yeah, I love that, like slamming ass all over town, and and Rex is a quality lay, so.
Yeah, I mean, but he's not fit to be a father, though.
Well, this is where we get like another little more of Mac and Rex. Yeah, because he's got a bird that won't quit.
Oh yeah, that's right. Mac was very into Rex during that the Billboard competition, right?
And he is going forward. Like Rex always shows up in his dreams, and remember, like Rex is God in his visions and stuff. And he definitely has a thing for Rex. I love Rex. He's funny. I mean,
yeah, he's such just a genuinely pleasant guy.
Yeah, he's like another one of those characters that's like a nice guy that they
like a Ben.
Yeah, like a Ben. They sort of like just mess up his life a little bit or like do something to him. Like
yeah.
So yeah, he's not fit to be a father, and none of these animals are fit to be fathers.
Yeah, look at them.
And they start talking about their ideas of parenting.
Yeah, they got no self-control. You got to have discipline to raise a kid. You got to set rules. You got to set ground rules.
Right. Just like true, like just any idiots can be parents. You know what I mean? It's like true, like just like what they're saying is like pretty horrible how they want to raise this kid.
Well, they started with some good ones. You can't have them doing cocaine, and you got to get them off the internet.
Right. Yeah, maybe have them read a book.
Well, you don't want to read them too many books.
No, this is when they go off the rails here.
Yeah, it starts as almost a real conversation, and then it devolves real quick. You don't want to read too many books. You don't want them to be a nerd.
No, you got to bash nerds. They start talking about bashing these nerds.
Yeah, nerds get nowhere in life.
Yeah. They're going to teach him to bash nerds. That's what they should be doing.
Yeah, he's got to beat up nerds. We got a lot of good ideas about raising kids.
Oh, I skipped over one quick little line, too, where they're talking about the internet, and Charlie goes, "Oh, yeah, they're on the internet. Hi, how are you? There's my penis. There's my butt." Or when he starts talking about...
Oh, there's your penis. There's your butt.
Which, I don't know how much time Charlie spends on the internet. It seems like none.
Yeah, I'm surprised he even knows that happens on the internet.
Right,
or what the internet is.
Yeah. But they're like hyping each other up with this idea that now they're going to be the father.
Right.
Again, them delusional, thinking that they're any less of an animal than anyone else in this room.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, these are the people you know. These are the only people you know.
Well, we get a good like pan around of like the room.
Yeah.
And we get a good look at like what the variety has to offer.
So they it's settled then. It's settled. They're gonna be the father. When he sees that little baby, he's gonna pick him up and he's gonna
jam shit down his throat.
They're like, yeah. He's like,
Dude, we're going to be the dad.
And you pan over to Frank pouring beer all over himself.
Yeah, we get like Rex pumping the keg, Frank showering himself with the beer, and the bus man just like chilling, drinking, and laughing at Frank.
At no point does Frank mention or anyone else mention that Frank is their dad, that there is a parenting like example.
Yeah, that's true. And it's weird that like Frank knows all the guys that Dee's banging.
Yeah, like specifically the Korean busboy. Yeah, she banged him.
Yeah,
like
she banged him.
So then Mac and Charlie reunite with Dennis at the hospital, and they decide to do a 3 men and a baby type situation. Don't you love Mac's like skip run that he does sometimes?
Yeah, he's like scooting. It's like a scoot skip.
He cannot wait to tell Dennis the news.
Yeah, he's so excited. There he is. Dennis, hey, Dennis. We have news. We have wonderful news. Charlie and I have decided that we are going to be the father of this child.
They did a complete 180.
You know what, dude? I did a 180 too. I totally did. I was pissy all morning about how I was going to be at the hospital, and then I was thinking about it, and I realized I've been firing all cylinders because of this baby thing, dude. Dude, I did this Weekend at Bernie's operation earlier that would have blown your mind. It was effective. And then I busted out the Sweet Thor line on this lady. She was all pissy because she was pissing me off. And I was like, boom. And then I really hit
So, like, what are you saying?
And I never referenced the Nordic gods.
Charlie, I love how you explain. They do this all the time where, like, when they reunite, they'll kind of explain what's been going on, but the other person has no context.
Yeah, so it holds no weight.
Yeah, it like really means nothing. Like,
it's like telling a dream at that point.
He did a Weekend at Bernie's operation.
Yeah, that would have blown their guys' minds.
Great term. The never referenced the Nordic gods. Another great, another great sort of quote of like the way Dennis like. I don't know the way Dennis's mind works. Reference
yeah,
the Nordic gods.
Like these little tags. Like I did this thing, and then another thing.
But so what he's basically saying is that he wants in. He wants to be the father too.
Well, that kind of steps on our thing a bit because we're gonna do my two dads type of thing.
Are you familiar with my two dads?
I did do a little quick wiki Google on.
This is not something I am familiar with even a little bit.
Okay, bear with me because the second line in this is a doozy. It's almost an IMDb summary. Okay. The series begins after Marcy Bradford, the mother of 12-year-old Nicole Bradford, has died. Okay, so we have a parent and that has a child.
Right, I get that much.
Okay.
Yeah.
The two men who had competed for Marcy's affection in Key West during the summer of 1974, which is Michael Taylor, who's played by Paul Reiser, and he's a successful financial advisor, and Joey Harris, a struggling artist, former friends who grew to hate one another over their mutual interest in the woman, are awarded joint custody of Nicole.
Why?
I don't know. I didn't get. I wish I. No, I'm glad I didn't read more to find out. But isn't that weird?
So neither one is the actual dad.
Possibly, none of them are the dad. But I guess like these two were competing for her affection, and they were friends, and this split them up, but actually brought them back together. So we can assume that this woman was dating these two guys, and DNA tests weren't available, so
I don't know. I guess, but wow, okay, what a premise. So I guess they're not going to do that anymore. So I guess they're going to do like a 3 men and a baby situation. Are you familiar with 3 men and a baby?
I did a quick wiki Google on this too. All right,
I'm more familiar with this.
You
this
are?
At least yes. This is like. Because there was that whole thing about there being a ghost in the movie and all that stuff. You know that, right?
No, I've never seen this movie.
There's like allegedly, if you pause the movie in a certain thing, there's like you could see something in a window or behind a curtain or something. And people said it's a ghost, but it's been disproven, I believe.
So that
but yes.
that's why you know the plot of this movie.
Oh, I don't know the plot of this movie. That's just the only thing I know about it is that.
Okay, this weird glitch that you know about.
What I assume it is there's a baby, the mother dies, and these 3 random men are assigned custody.
Yeah, because they were all,
because they're all dating the mother at the same time.
In the Key West. All right. Architect Peter Mitchell, satirist Michael Callum, and actor Jack Holden are happy bachelors in their shared New York City apartment with frequent parties and flings. One day, a baby named Mary arrives on their doorstep with a note revealing that she is the result of Jack's tryst with an actress named Sylvia during a Stratford film Shakespearean production a year prior.
And then the other 2 guys are like, hey, we're in on this?
I guess so, because they, by default, live with the guy.
Yeah, they're like his friends, so they're like, we'll help.
So I guess it's like Full House-ish?
It sounds more like it's 1 dad, 2 friends, and a baby.
Yeah.
Because when you say 3 men and a baby, they should have nothing to do with the baby. The baby should be a random baby, right?
It's its own entity. It takes care of itself.
I mean, it just should like show up and they have to deal with the baby. Like, it's not like a result of anything they did. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess you're right. Because because one is directly related to the baby. It should be
so it's not like 3 men
and
a baby. It's not 3 men. It's the dad of the baby and 2
his
guys.
2 friends, his roommates. So Dennis is in on that. He can get in on that.
I mean, and again, another example of them living their lives according to movies and TV.
Yeah. I mean, we saw them live it earlier with Weekend at Bernie's.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. They do the movies. Like, again, they don't just like. They don't leave it to the audience that they're doing 3 men. They're doing 3 men and a baby.
Yeah.
Frank comes charging in here. Yeah, did he miss it? He's got the whole crew with him.
Dennis wonders what's going on. Who are all these people?
Yeah, Dennis has no context for this either. It seems that the interrogation sort of turned into a coke party. But so like they all were doing coke, and Frank spilled the beans of what's going on, and they all agreed to do blood tests.
I guess that was the easiest way to do it, right?
Well, there's a couple of these guys that should not be worried,
but there were some that are definitely worried. Pondy might consider blowing his brains out, he says. Which is pretty harsh.
But Pondy was so long. Was Pondy in the? Maybe Pondy was in
probably the most recent.
Yeah. But I mean, Lil Kev has nothing to be worried about for sure.
Cricket has nothing to be worried about.
Yeah, Cricket has nothing to be worried about.
Z and the boys have nothing to worry about.
Apparently, Pondy got zooted. He took an 8-ball to the dome.
But Charlie wants Frank to get these guys out of here because they decided they're going to be the baby. They're going to be the father of the baby.
Dennis, Charlie, and Mac are going to be the fathers. So saith Thor. Is that the Greek god?
Thor said it.
And then Charlie with the Greek god. And then I love how Dennis
he's a Nordic.
He kind of corrects him a little bit. He corrects him. It's a Nordic. In the background, you can see Z and Duncan setting up a turntable.
Yeah, like right away. Like that's like by TV magic. They've set up already.
Definitely.
I love TV magic. We don't get enough of that.
Dennis assures them that what he said sounded cooler earlier. It sounded much cooler. But she's coming. Mac wants to make it like a big moment, like something big.
Really big. With music. Duncan, play something special.
Duncan has the perfect thing.
No.
So,
what weird coincidence that this specific artist is so big right now.
I know, it is crazy. We'll talk about it in a second when the scene starts. So as Duncan plays music, we see Dee and the baby, and we find out the baby's parents. This woman's work, now this one is performed by Emma E. Jorts, but it's originally by Kate Bush.
Mm-hmm.
A name you'll
be very familiar.
Probably be familiar with now.
If you've seen Stranger Things, the new season,
or you're just on the internet at this point.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, she's everywhere, Kate Bush. Yeah, but this isn't Kate Bush singing. This is a cover, I guess.
Okay. I listened to Kate Bush's version. It sounded very much alike. It's almost the same thing.
Well, the thing I looked up, it says this one's by Emma Ejorts, but the original is by Kate Bush, is what I saw looking up, but maybe they were wrong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, possibly.
I gotta say, Duncan, you did have the perfect thing, right?
Yeah. He didn't blow the fuse or anything.
The fuse should have exploded at the end.
Yeah, that would have been so funny. Like a hospital just has to deal with it now.
So we see Dee in slow motion with the baby coming out in the wheelchair.
Yeah.
And we get a pan over of all the guys, slow motion.
We get a close up on a proud dad, Frank here.
Right. Yeah.
Dee comes through the threshold. We get some close ups on Mac and Dennis.
Yeah. Yeah. We see Cricket smoking.
What a great way to break up the moment a little bit.
Yeah, like not to be fully nice, because this is a nice moment.
Yeah, this is a very special, nice moment, but we also get This Is Always Sunny.
Well, this is similar to stuff they do with like when Mac does that like interpretive dance for his father, where they can get sort of serious.
Yeah.
When they need to. You know what I mean? Like,
Absolutely.
sort of, you actually do have a nice moment. Like, why not? You know what I mean?
We get a lot of nice moments in the newest season.
Do we?
Yeah. I feel like we do. You haven't watched yet?
I have, but I block nice moments out of my memory.
Oh. Okay. Well,
I only celebrate
the rest
that.
of us enjoy them.
So, yeah, this is a nice moment happening here. And we pan over to Carmen and Nick. And the music sort of just abruptly, like, it doesn't stop. You can kind of hear it in the background, but it's just, like, not in the forefront anymore.
Yeah, it sort of fades out.
Carmen?
What are you doing here?
We find out that the parents are Carmen and Nick, who we remember from Mac Fights Gay Marriage.
Yeah, the first episode of the season. So we're kind of bookending with them.
Yeah, great. It's a great callback. It really is. And it's also a great callback because we find out that Dee was a surrogate, which is one of her schemes.
Yeah, that was something she wanted to do last season, right?
Yeah, was it 3 or 4? Was it
maybe? Yeah, you're right. I think it was somewhere in 3 and 4 where she wanted to be a surrogate.
Yeah, that's the Vic Vinegar and Hugh Honey episode. Yeah. And so, again, that's another great callback. And I love this little where, like, they start to explain, like Nick starts to explain in a very heartfelt and real way.
Yeah, we had a difficult time finding a surrogate, but Dee here was a miracle to us. See, I can't.
Yeah, okay. He's like, okay, miracle for you. Okay, like,
all right, miracle. Yeah, great, miracle for you.
Dee, you tricked us.
How did I trick you?
How did I trick you?
I mean, it was kind of like it does sound almost like a trick, but because she said there is no father.
Right. Yeah, she's saying like, and yeah, there's no father. Like she's saying,
it was complicated.
Like,
she said
it was complicated. She was correct. Yeah. You know, but if they knew that she was doing the surrogate thing, they would have just ignored her.
Which is funny like, because they did. Yeah.
Well, she says that. She goes, "You did. You did ignore me. You did."
This has been a huge disappointment for us.
This is one of my favorite lines. I don't know why. Just Dee going, "Why?"
We were gonna be the great dads.
Again, this is them explaining stuff with no context.
Yeah,
like,
they were going to impose their will on the kid, and Dee's like, what are you talking about?
She didn't know any of this. But you know what? Those two are going to be great parents.
Yeah.
Plus, the kid would have screwed up their chemistry.
Yeah, why blow it with a baby?
And Dee didn't enjoy it. Yeah. And Dee didn't enjoy it, so she's not going to do that again.
Do we have to, like, put you back in there so you can pop out some more baby? Are you done having? What's going on here?
She's like, no, let's just go get a bear. Yeah.
Which is a great, like, way to be like, yeah, let's just bring everything back to the bar. Like, bring everything home,
definitely.
You know?
And a little before that, though, Charlie gets a little confused about the baby. The father's black. He doesn't really understand.
It's all been explained.
Yeah, that is also one of my favorite lines too. Like, because Charlie is even done, like, kind of getting his thought out. When Dennis just goes, "It's been explained."
I'll talk you through it later. Max says.
So yeah, they start like Frank's like, come on, let's go. Let's bring the party to the bar. And this is where Dee notices, hey, what's going on back there?
Oh, a few buddies came. Don't worry about it.
She doesn't actually really see them or react.
Yeah.
She's like kind of looking like, what is that?
All these guys I know.
What about taking the party to the sewer?
What's your obsession with the sewer these days?
And then they talk about, what's in the sewer, and Dee says sewage. And they laugh.
Good one, Dee.
Dee's back.
She's back.
And we go out on the rest of the crew sort of walking by here all coked out.
Oh yeah, what a great moment of Pondy and Ben the soldier doing some coke.
And we get a little title card here. Axel Lee McElhenney, September 1st, 2010.
Correct.
A little picture of the baby.
What a great way to seal out the episode and the season.
Definitely. Imagine you grow up and oh, hey, let's show you this. This is you.
Yeah.
On this,
that's so
cool.
awesome.
So what was your favorite character?
My favorite character is going to Dennis.
Yeah, me too. Dennis. I mean, come on.
His rage and outbursts
his rage knows no bounds. And what's your favorite line?
My favorite line is gonna have to be, "This baby is becoming such an irritating thing to me."
I have two. I think mine is gonna be, I can back out. I can back out. And it's all been explained.
It's all been.
And what's your favorite scene?
My favorite scene is gonna go out to the Weekend at Bernie's scene.
Okay.
Because I like how it begins. It's very light and fun. We know what they're doing because it's a little physical comedy that we don't get a lot. And and it is also talking head scene, but also at the end we get that. No, stop saying that. Stop saying that. I love that with Dennis because he was at such a high point.
Yeah. I think I'm going to go Pondy's interrogation.
No.
I think it's my favorite scene.
Talk us through that.
Well, I just like the across the gang sitting across from anybody is always funny.
Yeah.
And just Pondy, Pondy's so funny in that scene. He's like, well, you just winked. Did you not have a vasectomy? Just, nah. So he's nodding, then he goes, nah. I don't know. He's like, it's just so let's talk about dude stuff, condoms, and he's like, yeah.
The way he's just going along with all this it's normal is very funny to me.
Yeah, I mean, I think this solidifies him on the bench, which is I love it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, that brings us to the Always Sunny Wiki Trivia Challenge. These are 3 trivia facts. 2 of them are made up by me. 1 of them is from the Always Sunny Wiki website. They're sub-wiki that they have. So, Ross, please tell me which one is from the actual sub-wiki. Number 1. In Batman comics, Batman has multiple villains in a similar way Dee has several romantic partners.
What the fuck?
Number 2. The father... Number 2. The father of Dee's baby is a mystery to the gang. In a similar way, the Riddler's plans are a mystery to Batman. Number 3. Frank hanging out in the sewer with Charlie is similar to Danny DeVito's Penguin character from Burton's Batman Returns, who was raised into the sewer of Gotham City.
Which was 1 and 2. Let's go with 3.
Yeah, it is 3. Frank. Now I don't know how, that's not trivia to me. Frank hanging out in the sewer with Charlie similar to Danny DeVito's Penguin character. I mean, I don't know.
Those first 2 were so funny. I was like, what is going on? Who would write that?
These people apparently, you know what I mean? Just somebody just making a dumb trivia of just doesn't even whatever coincidence. All right, you won. That was good. And Ross, because this is our season finale, of course we have to talk about the hidden message that is played at the end of every season. They do they say something backwards. It's sort of it's with their
what they cap
company.
the episode with every episode at the end.
Yeah,
they kick the ball.
Yeah, their production company.
Mm-hmm.
And so I fucked up, Ross, because I should have known this, but in the Christmas episode, it is a specific one for just the Christmas episode.
Oh my god!
That we did not talk about.
What's going on with you lately?
I know, but anyways, here it is. This is the Christmas episode one right now.
Sorry for wasting your time and money, but thanks for your money.
So yes, they're saying backwards. They're saying sorry for wasting your time and money, but thanks for your money.
That's awesome.
And season 6, they end up every episode with this.
Brown, now in HD. Brown, now in HD.
And yes, they are saying brown now in HD 2 times. Brown now in HD. Brown now in HD.
Can we start ending our episodes, but with the thank you for your money line?
I mean, sure, yeah. But yeah, so yeah, that's a little, little fun thing they do where they end each episode with the sort of hidden message there.
No, it's very cool. Thanks for bringing that up.
All right, let's do our final thoughts on this episode specifically. Ross, did this episode ruin a perfectly good sewer conversation? Or this episode is a beautiful underhanded thing?
This episode is a beautiful underhanded thing.
Yeah, of
course.
course.
To celebrate here.
Yeah, just like the nice moment is always a nice little touch. Everything Dennis is doing is funny. And the guest stars are incredible.
Exactly that. Those were all the touchstones, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's always fun to see them. I mean, did I want more cricket? Sure. Should we? I mean, I would love to have an interview with every one of those guys.
Oh man, that could have been a whole episode.
Yeah,
if you made it like a two-part.
Yeah, because it'd be funny to interview cricket because,
and then find out it's true.
Or like just like what he would have to say. Oh yeah, or just like what he would have to say about any of it, or like how he would react. I don't know.
Or where they even start the conversation.
All right, so I guess that's it. We're closing out here on our season finale, Ross.
Yeah, who would have thought we made it to the end of season 6? This is pretty awesome.
Pretty crazy. 6 seasons we done this.
I know. It's a long time.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, 6 seasons, we talk like an average an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Each episode. Our Christmas episode is 3 hours plus.
So it's it's a good amount of time we've dedicated to doing this. And
yeah, a lot of talking. Yeah, a robot could like take everything we said and like simulate our voices.
Yeah, and they could probably simulate what we'd say about future episodes.
Because we say the same thing. It was good.
That was good. It was good that they did that thing.
Well, I'm sure we'll do some sort of special in the meantime if we don't have any idea.
Yeah, we don't have anything planned. Maybe I'll get desperate and reach out to someone.
Or send us suggestions of something you want us to do, want us to cover. Anything, even if it's like a different show or whatever, we'll figure something out. Or
it would be fun to do a little detour from our usual. Anyone has any awesome ideas or something?
Maybe you know what? Maybe I'll do as well as like 2 bonuses because this is already done.
2.
But maybe I'll edit and release that Predator podcast.
Oh no! Don't do that. You threatened us last season with that.
I think about it all the time. How I love to like edit in an intro and like I don't know. I just make it like real. But we'll see. Maybe I'll do that. But we'll see. But yeah, thank you everyone for sticking with us. This,
we really appreciate the engagement, the listenership, and a lot of people reaching out to us.
Yeah, if you threw us some cash, bought us a coffee, really appreciate that. That was huge. That really that takes us one step away from the ledge. We do one step backwards from the ledge.
Yeah, we got some artwork this season.
Sunny Footy gave us that great Stranger Things edit.
Dude, we got a lot of awesome engagement this season.
Yeah. It almost makes this worth it. Almost. Nah, we love it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so thank you everyone, and I don't know. I guess I don't know when we'll be back.
I guess beginning of next year.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know. Whenever we
decide we're gonna pick it up again.
Yeah, I gotta. God of War Ragnarok comes out, so I need to set aside some time for that. So yeah.
When does that come out?
That comes out in November, but yeah.
Okay, well, you get a month before we can get going again.
But all right then. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for listening. We appreciate that. If you want to reach out to us, you can find us on Instagram at what is our Instagram, Ross?
The Always Sunny Cast Pod.
Always Sunny Cast Pod. And if you want to email, it's alwayssunnycastpod@gmail.com. Yeah, and we love hearing from you guys.
Yeah. Thanks again for an awesome season.
Yeah. And I guess until next time,
good day
to
use. Always Sunny Cast is not endorsed or affiliated with Always Sunny in Philadelphia, the FXX Network, or Philadelphia. The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of Eric Regan and Ross Northrop. Email thoughts, questions, suggestions, corrections, or things we just plain forgot to alwayssunnycastpod@gmail.com. And if you have a moment, please rate, subscribe, and review the podcast. And as always, thanks for listening, you jabronis. No, I'm here for you. I'm here for you.